There's been some strong backlash against Arizona's new immigration law, but one candidate for governor in Georgia has an immigration plan that actually goes a step further. Republican
Eric Johnson wants to require all public kindergarten through 12th grade schools to require proof of citizenship for every student enrolled. He wants the same plan for emergency rooms, too, and he joins us now. Hello, Mr. Johnson. Good morning.
Good morning.
So let me understand this. You want somebody, when they are headed to the emergency room, to produce proof of citizenship, even if it's an emergency?
Now, clearly, in a traumatic situation, we can't stop to ask questions like that. But most ER visits, as everybody knows, are people walking in there for non-emergency needs because the federal government has required us to open up that free back door into our taxpayer-funded health care system. So there's plenty of opportunities to determine citizenship before we provide those services. And by the way, we still have to provide the services. I'm not saying deny them. Federal law requires us to provide services in the emergency room. I just want to know what it's costing the taxpayers and health insurance premiums for the citizens of Georgia.
I threw this out on Twitter this morning, sir, and I got tons of responses about your plan through all K through 12 schools to have proof of citizenship for their students. Overwhelmingly, Fox and Friends viewers say absolutely they need to do this. Although one Twitter person wrote me and said, we can't blame the children, though, for the sins of the parents. Lack of documentation. It should be a red flag for ICE and immigration officials blaming the kids for this, really.
You know, the children aren't to blame, but neither are the taxpayers of Georgia. We don't have to educate the children in South Carolina and Alabama here in Georgia, but we're being forced to educate children from other countries. Obviously, one of the reasons that the illegals come into this country are for jobs and for taxpayer-funded services, and education is our largest tax program and our largest system out there that costs everybody money, including taking away money from our children. We're furloughing teachers. We're increasing class sizes. Somebody has got to stand up to Washington and say enough is enough and hold them accountable for their incompetence.
Hey, Mr. Johnson, what's the response you're getting from the people who may vote for you for governor?
Well, it's very positive. They want somebody to stand up to Washington. Listen, they have failed to secure our borders under Republican and Democratic administrations, and if they won't enforce the law as governor of Georgia, I will.
But, Mr. Johnson, it sounds like your law isn't enforceable either. I mean, as you've just said, if somebody shows up at the emergency room in some sort of dire situation, you're going to have to treat them. And if a child shows up for the first day of kindergarten without proof of citizenship, are you going to educate that child or send them home?
That's the law of the land, that we will educate the children and we'll take care of them in the emergency rooms. But you cannot change what you cannot measure. In the Supreme Court decision in 1982, which was a 5-4 decision in Texas, they did not say that we couldn't collect citizenship information. And in the dissent, they said that Texas couldn't prove the cost of the program. So once we've assimilated the cost of educating and providing health care to illegals, then I intend to sue the federal government and hold them accountable.
You just brought up a great point, though, about Republicans and Democrats have been unable to get this stranglehold on immigration fixed. But isn't the real dirty secret, even Georgia, South Carolina, you got these chicken processing plants down there, and they work with illegal immigrants, and they would not be able to function without them. They've made deals with ICE so that these guys don't get taken out of these chicken processing plants. How do you break that? How do you break that cycle?
Well, part of the Johnson plan also goes after businesses, and any business on their second offense for hiring illegal will have their business license revoked permanently at the local level. So we're going to go after the people that are hiring illegals, and then we're going to go after the federal government in a lawsuit and holding them accountable for what they're forcing us to pay for in other ways.
Well, Mr. Johnson, you are a Georgia Republican gubernatorial candidate. It's a controversial idea, but you obviously have many supporters about it. So thank you for coming on to tell us about it.
Thank you all. Have a great day.
You too.